Hello everyone. It's another quiet day, morning actually. Just turned over to 11 o'clock here in suburbia, and it's a Monday. Of course, this video is going up on a Monday. Do I want to say quite a few things have happened since the last video? Not really. Things have happened. Is it quite a few of those things? I don't know. I guess the first thing I want to touch up on, outside of the beautiful day we're having, I mean, it's gonna be like in the 60s today. Oh man, I'm so happy that I could be off work today to enjoy this. It really is stunning out here. And the great thing about my job is that I'm usually getting off about 3 o'clock, so when I come home, I can still enjoy the best part of the day, or like the better part of the day before it starts getting dark. And even though we're going into spring and summer where it doesn't get dark as soon, it's still nice to be able to appreciate it. So how is everything going? Well, I was working on a video earlier and decided that I need to come and work on another video, which is why I'm out here. First things first, I suppose, outside of everything else we just talked about. Rib is still a bit sore, but it's doing good. It's doing okay. It is slowly still getting better, but it is still sore. I'm sure me being super active at work, having to move all that big equipment around for photography does not help, but it is getting better. I can tell that there is a difference. It's not impeding me in any sort of way, not like it was like a week or so ago. That was like, oh my God, I couldn't even sit properly or sit in any way that was comfortable. But it's much better now, even if it still is a bit sore, but it's getting there. The other thing I wanted to touch upon is the whole milk debate. It's not really a debate. I just kind of said, hey, I think this is a thing that's happening. As it would turn out, we, being me and my armchair doctor friends, determined that it is most likely not anything to do with dairy. And I'll explain why. So how I came to my conclusion is that after I had eaten Hamburger Helper and I had the Kraft mac and cheese, I would always feel terrible. And both of those things have milk, and since lactose intolerance or maybe a dairy allergy seemed more reasonable or more likely than anything else, that's the thing I latched onto. However, both of these things also have pasta in them. And so we have maybe determined I have some sort of allergy to pasta. I have not further tested that theory out, but I did have a milkshake a few days ago and I was completely fine. So I am happy that it is not a milk thing or a dairy thing, even though in my video a couple of days ago, I was like, I don't know why that would make any sense since my family has never had an issue with any of these things. It just seemed the most logical thing at the time. So yay, go team. Honestly, I would rather it be pasta than it be dairy, because so much stuff is dairy in it, so much stuff is milk in it. Never being able to drink milkshakes or eat ice cream or cheese, which I was already consistently eating and I was just fine, would really put a damper on things, you know? And so there it is. Probably a pasta thing. Whatever. I really didn't have a whole bunch of pasta in my diet anyway, although losing the ability to enjoy mac and cheese is kind of suck. I mean, it could be something specific in the pasta. They predicted that it might be some sort of gluten thing, and you can get gluten-free pasta. I don't know, I'm a little concerned. Some people just say it's like, dude, Hamburger Helper and Kraft mac and cheese in the box is just not good for you anyway. So it's probably just specifically that like sort of idea of having boxed food that is not good for me. And honestly, a lot of super ultra processed foods are not good for you. I remember a couple years ago when I would eat a lot of frozen foods, skillet meals. You just put all the frozen stuff in the skillet. I would be getting sick all the time. I'd be throwing up. I'd just feel terrible. And this food doesn't stick with you. It's like you get full in the moment, but there's no lasting nutritional value in any of it. And so you're just sitting there like an hour or so later, still hungry, and you don't feel any better. Once I stopped eating those frozen dinners and those frozen skillet meals, I stopped throwing up. I went out, I got fresh meats, and I started eating that. And this thing where I would get sick and feel anxious and terrible that went away. So it really does come down to what you eat. Now, I know there is still a lot of very bad things in our food here in the States that are just outlawed in other countries. Hair's all wacky today. So we still have a long way to go, but there is at least a way to go. Not having a way to go would be terrible. That'd probably be the worst thing, honestly. Maybe I'll climb up this blue ladder over here. What else have I been up to? Well, I got work tomorrow, and the work that I have been doing, actually, dude, work was kind of a shit show on Thursday and Friday. I ain't even gonna lie. We very clearly did not have enough photographers for the job, which is something I try to warn my supervisor about, like the Tuesday before I went to that job. And wouldn't you know it, we really didn't have enough photographers. Now, we got the job done, but we were just overwhelmed. And honestly, I don't think the pictures came out very good because we were overwhelmed. It was a very frustrating experience. It's so frustrating to try to warn and convince the higher ups that something's gonna be a problem, and they just kind of look the other way and they're like, no, it'll be fine, you know, just kind of do what you can do. And then it ends up being a problem. It's like I'm talking to a brick wall here. At least the brick wall can't respond and say something stupid though, right? It can't respond and pretend that it's caring. I don't know if I should climb this actually with my rib being a thing, but we're gonna try. Oh, wow. That was a good thumbnail on that video the other day when I climbed this, and I was all like, So now that I'm hanging over this thing, what else is it to say? I watched a movie, 2 movies actually. One of them called Neza, the other one Neza 2. And for those of you who aren't aware, these are both animated films based off of like Chinese mythology, specifically a figure in Chinese mythology called Neza. And Neza 2 is currently the highest grossing animated movie of all time. It crossed over the $2 billion mark. And I believe it's also the 6th highest grossing movie ever made. And I gotta be real with you guys, that movie was freaking awesome. Like, I don't think I've ever seen this level of scope and scale and size on an animated movie ever. Like, there are battles in this that are comparable to like the battles in Lord of the Rings, which are some of the biggest, or maybe the biggest battles ever portrayed on screen, like even bigger than the stuff in Endgame. Let me flip around here. So yeah, Neza 2, definitely worth checking out. Even for just the animation alone, it's worth price of admission. But I was just completely blown away, and honestly, they have put like every animation studio in the West to shame. It is just unreal what can be done with animation when you aren't limited to trying to please everybody, you know? All right, I'm gonna climb down. So what else is going on? It's Mario Day, you know, March 10th. That's exciting. I doubt we're gonna get any sort of news from Nintendo, but they might put some of their Mario games on discount. They'll take like $3 off each game, you know? Nintendo doesn't really like to mark their games down any more than maybe like 30%. I think that's the most I've seen them mark their first party titles down. What else has been going on? Not really having much going on isn't the worst thing. It really sucks when you just get overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff. And honestly, I have had a lot of stuff on my plate. I got videos to write. I got stories to write. I got live streams to do. I don't have to do the live streams, honestly, but I really do enjoy doing them. Last night I streamed Elden Ring again with my 2 friends, Kaifi and Enrico, and we encountered a glitch because we're doing this co-op mod for Elden Ring, which allows you to do co-op everywhere in the game, and occasionally it'll freak out and insta kill bosses. And so what happened last night is that it freaked out and insta killed the final boss of the Elden Ring DLC, which is supposed to be the hardest boss in all of the Souls games. It was actually so hard that they had to nerf it because no one was able to beat him, and we just killed him instantly. It was amazing. Truly a historic moment for the books. I finished writing the second chapter of my big, super emotional story, which is, as I said in another video, my mature way of saying fan fiction. But it really is some fun stuff. I'm very pleased with how it's coming out right now. I do love putting all the juicy details in there. You just kind of let it flow out of you, you know? I do very little planning for these things. Most of it's just jumbled up stuff in my head. And then I just go to the keyboard and I make up new stuff along the way, and it ends up being this wonderful story about love and tragedy and drama and denial of feelings, all these different crazy things, all the best things. I think that's gonna be all for me today. I'm gonna let you guys go now, but you guys stay happy, healthy, all those great things. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the rest of this beautiful Monday morning. There's birds chirping, nary a cloud in the sky. There's some clouds in the sky way off ahead, but it's absolutely gorgeous, man. This is the reason for waking up in the morning, seeing stuff like this. I love my technology. I love my computer. I love doing videos. But there's something about a beautiful spring morning where everyone's at work and everyone's at school, and it's just you walking around the neighborhood with your phone out, talking to it like a crazy person. Okay, you guys stay happy, healthy, active, all those things, and I will see you all next time.